Hey guys, what's up? It's Joey Cubes here, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to solve the 3x3x6. So now the 3x3x6 is a pretty interesting puzzle. It's made by Whit Eden, and it is not the cuboid version, like with a 3x3x7 with the layer chopped off. It's the original one that acts just like a 3x3x6, as you can see. So it's a pretty well turning. It turns pretty well, the puzzle, and it doesn't shapeshift because it's odd on even, as you can see. And I may get the 3x3x7 sometime in the future, and that one is a shapeshifting puzzle. But for now, I'll be showing you how to solve this 3x3x6 by Whit Eden. Now, I think this came out a couple years back, and I got it for like $11 off Amazon. And it's a very nice puzzle. So it's pretty much basically a 3x3x2. Well, you should know how to solve a 3x3x2 and the basics of a 3x3x5, because that would really help to know when you're solving this, because it's really no different than that. So that's it's pretty much one of those puzzles, either a 3x3x2 through 3x3x5, as long as you know some of those puzzles. So now that you actually do know these puzzles, like those puzzles, if you don't, then I recommend go watching a tutorial on how to do it. But if you do know how to solve these, then I'll start continuing with the tutorial, and you could watch this and see how to do this puzzle. So basically, I'm just going to scramble this up, doing some of these turns. Oh, and another thing you should know is your color scheme on a Rubik's Cube, but I'm also thinking that you'll know your color scheme on a Rubik's Cube, but if not, I'll just go over it in this video. I want to make sure I get a good scramble. Probably the only thing different than the 3x3x5 is you could have more than one parity. You could have two different types of parities. Unlike with the 3x3x5, you could only have the parity where these two are swapped. But this puzzle on the 3x3x6, you could have a parity where these are swapped, or this big layer is swapped. Okay, I'd say that's a pretty good scramble. Now, with this puzzle, the first thing you want to do is put your centers in. So I like starting, you need to put anything on like a bottom layer, like this. So I start off usually with the white facing me, and that means that the blue is on top. So I could see that this is a blue center, so I just need to turn it down so you have the white facing you with the blue on top. Then you have the red on the right side, which I don't have a red here, so I could see I have a red on the back. I just turn it over to where I need to put it, which is on the right, and then I turn it down. Then I see I need to put orange here, and the orange is already in. And I need green. The green's already in too. But that's pretty much how you put in every single center on the puzzle. Next thing you want to do is put all your corners in. So you could solve this just like a 3x3x2. So I want to find the correct corner that could go into the blue and red space. And you could see that this is not the correct corner because they line up, these two pieces. They're only correct if it's flipped, because when you put it in using the R2U prime R2, it flips the edge, the corner, and this would be flipped in its position. So you want to find the one that's flipped when it's before you put it in. So that's not the correct one. This isn't the correct piece. Not the right one. Not the right one. So it looks like that piece is somewhere in the puzzle. It's right here. So I'll look for a piece to put in this orange and blue piece. So this orange and blue is not correct because you can see that it lines up. But you could see this orange and blue are correct. is correct because you can see the blue and orange don't match up. So you just hold it above where you want to put it in and do R2, U with the top 3 layers, R2, U prime with the top 3 layers, and then R2. You always use the top 3 layers. And you could see that it gets put in correctly. Now, I want to do this next puzzle piece right here, and I need to put this blue and red in and see if I took that one out. So I'm going to turn this blue and red, and you can see it's correct because they don't match up. So you do R2, U, R2, U prime, R2. And then the last one, you could always rotate the cube while you're doing it because it's just basically a 3x3x2. And you don't actually have to keep the bottom layer in one single place. And the next one you have to do is put in this orange and green one. You can see this is not the correct one because it matches. And you can see now this is the correct one because they don't match. So R2, R2, U prime, R2. Now that's basically the same step you could always get. You always have to put your centers in and then put your corners in. Now the next thing you want to do is, I already have headlights, so I'll show you what to do if you don't have headlights, or do you have one pair of headlights. So if you don't have any headlights, you do the algorithm that I'm going to show you now from any spot in the puzzle. But if you do hold headlights, have headlights right here, I have blue headlights. You hold them on the left of you, on the left side of the puzzle, and do R2U, R2U prime, R2. And this time you could do Y prime. So turn the whole cube counterclockwise like this. And then do R2U prime, R2U, R2. So then again, that's R2U, R2U prime, R2, Y prime, R2U prime, R2U, R2. Now that you have all of your headlights, you'll just put them and line them up in their correct spot. And now you want to do your swaps on the top layer. So there's only 2 types of swapping that you have to do. It's either a cross swap, so you can see this one has to go across to that side. So you do this really easy algorithm, R2U2, 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 and you could repeat from you could do it from any side. Like you could do it from this side, or the algorithm from this side. So since I want this red to come here, I do R2, U2, R2, U2, R2, U2. Now you could see that that orange piece that was once here came here, and then the green piece that was here went to the other side of the puzzle. Now the last case you could kind of get is an adjacent edge swap, and that you hold it in the front of you and the right of you, and do R2U, R2U prime, R2. Oh wait. Whoops, don't follow that. Okay, so you do hold in the front on the right and do R2, U2. You hold on the front of you and the right, you do R2U, R2U, R2U2, R2U2, R2U, R2U prime, R2. Sorry for messing up that a bunch of times. But once you have that in, you can't get any parity because there's no middle layer to have a parity with. And you now have this inner layer solved. Now that you have this inner layer solved, you always have the correct color scheme. If you don't have the correct color scheme, you should just start over again using the correct color scheme. And that won't always be the same case you get where you have one across and one adjacent, but those are the same 2 algorithms that you'll always need to have to apply to the last layer, and that's just very intuitive to figure out when you have to apply them. Now the next part, after you have this inner 3x3x2, you want to do the outer part of it right here. So I want to put this blue one in. So I find this blue edge right here. And instead of putting it up on the, matching it up with the blue and turning it down, that messes up this middle layer. So what you do is you move it to the side, move the edge up, turn it 180 degrees, put the blue in, and then turn it 180 degrees down. So now it fixes the edges and you have this edge. It fixes like the inner part, and you have this edge here. Next thing you want to do is I want to put this orange one into this orange spot. So I turn the orange side up 180 degrees. I turn this orange in to match with the orange centers, and then turn it back down 180 degrees. Now I want to put this red one in. So I have this red right here. I turn the red up 180 degrees, turn the red in, and then turn it down 180 degrees. And then the last one you want to put in is the green, and that green is already put in. Now when you want to do this part of the puzzle, you can't rotate freely when you're putting in the corners. You always just want to move the D layer when you're doing it. So I'm just looking for a red and green corner. And I could see that this one, this red and green corner, does not match up, so that's correct. So you do R2U, except this time with 2 layers, R2U prime, R2. And like I said, you can't rotate it freely, so you just keep it right in front of you and turn the bottom layer. So I want to put a red and blue, so you could see this blue and red matches up, so that's incorrect. And you could see that this one doesn't match up, so that's correct. So you do R2U, R2U prime, R2. And now that fixed this side right here, because every time you do it, it gives you parity. And then the second time you do it, it brings the parity, like it solves the parity. But you still just want to rotate it, just rotate the bottom layer. Now the next thing you want to do is find the correct blue and orange one. Orange and blue. And you can see that this one doesn't match up the orange and blue corner, so you hold it above and do R2U, R2U prime, R2. And you can see how that gives us parity. So we move the bottom layer. And now we have to find the next orange and green one. So I'll turn the layer. This is not the correct corner. And this one. The orange and green does not match up. So you hold it and do R2U, R2U prime, R2. Now, say you only had to put in 3 corners. Right now you'd have parity right here, and you still wouldn't want to rotate your cube. Right now I could rotate it freely, but say you did have parity right here, you wouldn't rotate it because you would mess up this inner middle layer. So the next thing you want to do is look for headlights. I have headlights right here, so I put it on the side, my left side, and I do R2U, R2U prime, R2. But this time I can't do Y prime because it will mess up this middle layer. So we do a U prime and a D. And I do R2U prime, R2U, R2. And now you can see, oh, it did the top layer. That's a rare chance where you'll actually skip the whole part where you have to permute all the edges. But I'll just show you a quick example of that. Okay, so say you you end up with this case, kind of like this is basically the same thing as the last one that we ran into, because I'm just showing you this type of case because it includes both algorithms that you have to do. So you wanna, sorry about that. You want to get this red to the other red. So you hold it in the front or in the back, whatever you want to do, and do R2, U2 with the top 2 layers, R2, U2, R2, U2. And now you can see it gives us parity, so you don't want to move the cube around. And you have to do an adjacent edge swap. So you hold it in the front and on the right of you, and do R2U, R2U, R2U2, R2U2, R2U, R2U prime, R2. Now before we go, I'll show you what the parity looks like that you can run into. I always fix the parity right before right after I finish this inner 3x3x4 point part. I don't like leaving it till the end because it just could be more confusing. So what you want to do is you use the same algorithm you use for the 3x3x5, but you are turning these, when you do the little U move, it's turning this little inner U layer right here. So I do U2 with the top 3 layers, R2, F2, and since when I do the little U2, because I want to move these inner 2 layers right here, I do a little U2, which is the 3rd layer down, little U2, F2, R2, U2. Now for the big parity, it's the same algorithm, and you turn these top 2 layers, since you want to swap these top 2 layers. And there is one parity that you can't run into by the way I solve it, but it's when you have to turn this inner top layer right here, but that you never run to that case. So now that you finish the inner 3x3x4 section, you want to finish with the outer section, which will finish your 3x3x6 section. Now, I'll just start off with this white side. So, I have the red already in, and I want to put this orange one in. So like the same thing as last time, I turn the orange 180 degrees, put the orange and white edge in, and turn it down. You want to make sure you're using the white, orange, and white. You don't want to use the orange and yellow because it would just be wrong. And then you want to put this orange and, not orange, green and white in. So I turn the green 180 degrees. I put this green and white in, and I turn it down. Last one, I want to put this blue and white in. So I take it away from the blue center. I turn the blue 180 degrees up. I put the blue and white in, and I put it back down. Now, the next thing you want to do is put the corners in. And this time you always know the correct corners because it has that color on top that lets you know which is the correct corner. So I want to start off with putting the white, green, and red in. So white, green, and red, I hold it above where it needs to go and do R2U, R2U prime, R2. And you don't want to rotate the cube like last time, so you turn the bottom layer and look for the blue and red and white. And that's not on the top layer, so turn it again. And see, I need the white, blue, and orange, and that one's right here. So I do hold it above where it needs to go and do R2U, R2U prime, R2. Now it takes out the red, the orange, and the green and white. So I turn the bottom layer, so I have the green and the orange, and I have the green, orange, white. So now it's above where it needs to go, and I do R2U, R2U prime, R2. Now, the last one I want to put in is this red, blue, and white. So I turn the bottom layer, so I have the blue and red section, blue, red, and white. And now that they're above from each other, I do R2U, R2U prime, R2. And I turn the bottom layer just to put it to its correct place, but you don't have to actually do that. So now the last one, you want to put headlights in. So I see I have red headlights, and like I said, if you have no headlights, you just do this algorithm from anywhere, and then you hold the headlights on the left, and then you do R2U, R2U prime, R2, and then you do U prime D, and this time which is the top layer, U prime D, and then you do R2U prime, R2U, R2. And then you just, I like always align the layers, but you don't actually have to. So now you could see, it's the same case again, where I have to do an across and adjacent edge swap. So I want to put this red into the orange, into the orange section. So I hold the orange anywhere I want as long as it's across from each other. And I do R2U2, R2U2, R2. And now it swaps those. And I want to do an adjacent one, so I hold in the front and the right. And then I do R2U, R2U, R2U2, R2U2, R2U, R2U prime, R2. And now I could just align the layer. Now, I don't have parity, but I'll show you what parity is like. So now the next part is when you have this big massive block parity. So what you want to do is hold it on the right and the left. The right and the left. And you want to do U2, R2, F2. And now when I do little U2, I want to do it with these inner two layers since I'm swapping this whole block right here. I use these inner two layers, so little U2, F2, R2, and then U2. Like I said, the reason why I use these two layers is because you're swapping this big portion right here. Like when I was swapping this little portion, I only had to use this little U layer because I was swapping these two layers. But when I'm swapping these 4 layers, you use these top 2 layers because you're trying to swap this whole block right here. And then the last parity that you could run into, that you don't get solving my method, but you just may get it for some reason, because you solve it differently than I actually solve it, is where you have these swapped from each other instead of these two being swapped. These are swapped right here. So you hold them on the right and the left and do U2, R2, F2. Then you do a little U2 with this top layer right here, because you want to be swapping these two right here. And then F2, R2, and then U2. And like I said, the reason why you're doing that is because you're trying to swap these 2 layers right here. So you use this layer right here. And that's pretty much how you solve it. If you have any questions about it, just leave them in the comments about this puzzle and I'll be sure to answer them. It's, like I said, it's pretty much just basically a 3x3x5 with an extra layer and there's no shape shifting. And it's solved just the same except a different parity that you have to learn, but it's the same algorithm. And after a while, you could be able to get pretty fast with this, because I practice 3x3x6 sometimes, and I average about 2.5 minutes, which is pretty good for me. And yeah, that's about it for this video. I hope this was helpful to you, and that you are able to do your 3x3x6 now. I'll be making a video on this missing link puzzle and Impossible probably a week and maybe 2 weeks from now. I'll make sure to make a review on these. That'll be pretty interesting. And that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Don't forget to like and subscribe my video. And that's about it. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.